So, we're live. Anyway, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about. I don't know, who cares? We're going to be talking about, I guess, comic books, movies, TV shows. I really don't know. I kind of walked into this show not prepared, and I honestly, don't care. But anyway, here's the intro. YouTube on my TV. I'm playing some on my TV, so I don't drive idiot sitting here by myself, just talking microphone, looking at the laptop. So, playing Comic Trips is a good YouTube show that's like no longer on anymore. I mean, it's on YouTube, but they just don't do episodes since they both ended the show. Kind of sucks, though. I mean, it was a good show, man. It's one of those shows that I really enjoyed. That and Comic Book Palace, Savage Mister. Just really any other, like, I mean, any shows I find in general interesting, I just sit and watch. Savage Mister, it's a channel, I think it's a channel that's grown. I think they have 6,000 subscribers, which is really cool. And stuff, and I don't really, like, get on YouTube, unfortunately. I don't really like read comments at all or things out there. I'm just sort of like, I don't know why. I think for me, like, I don't get on YouTube because I'm just always afraid like there's gonna be like negative comments about shit I say. And people are gonna be like, man, what the fuck's wrong with you? But for me, YouTube's such a, I think, interesting platform that I think people just, I think ever since like the crazy thing that, like, I forget who did it, like something about it caused like the adpocalypse thing. I don't really like pay attention to So, I watched the Candyman. My dog's drinking water. She's very loud drinking. So, I watched the Candyman. And as I was sitting there, like, watching the trailer for it, I just sort of sat there going, like, once this movie comes out, if it becomes, like, popular, because it's going to be like one of the latest trendy movies. Like, I mean, it was already a trendy thing on YouTube and the Hot Topic crowd and all these things. Is like it became a trendy thing. Candyman, I think, is going to be like one of those things. I think it's going to be the same stupid shit that you see on YouTube. It gets gullible kids to believe, like, you know, to do like this stupid ass challenge. Like, I kind of see it like this. Like, there's going to be some random, like, popular YouTuber with the kids who's hip, wearing the backwards baseball cap, you know, yelling like they just ate a bunch of M&Ms and drank a bunch of Coca-Cola, and bam, like they're gonna be like, oh my god, everybody, this is the 3 a.m. challenge. This is gonna be the Candyman challenge. I'm gonna stand in front of the camera, in front of the mirror, holding the camera, saying Candyman, 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 to see if Candyman appears in front of the mirror. So, you know, strap in, say a prayer, give a video a like, subscribe, all this shit. And you're going to see that. You're going to see that stupid shit. Because once it started, like, the mirror thing, I was saying Candyman, which is basically Bloody Mary, you know, just minus the dude wearing a long trench coat and having a deep voice talking like this and holding a hook to kill people and bumblebees appearing. Like, it's the same stupid shit, you know. And the thing is, I seen the movie and it's very generic. It's a very generic horror movie, and it has Jordan Peele, who is, you know, a genius, you know, he touches things in film that no other director can. Alfred Hitchcock, you know, all these things, like he's a genius. So, I mean, I like Jordan Peele. I love the Key and Peele thing, and I love when Key and Peele did the Obama thing. That was pretty fucking hilarious. Um, you know, I like Key and Peele. They're great. It's a shame that, you know, they're not really doing much together. I guess, you know, since they've been such a dynamic duo in comedy, I guess they have to go different directions. One is doing comedy. I think he did like a hit show on Netflix that became very popular, and it ended. And Jordan Peele's doing is like this psychological horror story, which is, you know, not bad. I mean, Get Out was an interesting film. I really thought he did a great job with it. Was it Oscar worthy? I don't know. I'm not one of those people to be the judge of it. So, but Candyman just looks fucking boring. I sat through the trailer of this movie and I just sat there, digesting everything in. And this movie is just boring. It is a very boring movie. And if you like it, if you're going to go see it, then that's great. That's good for you. I'm happy for you. You know, and the thing about it is, I'm not really big into horror movies that much anymore. Like, I don't feel like seeing anything with death in it for a while. So, that's just kind of how I am. So, so for me, I don't. I'm sorry, I was messaging somebody. So, I mean, I don't feel like seeing any film with people getting killed for a while. I'm one of those things like, um, so anyway, let's get to, hello. So, sorry, someone's writing in the chat. Hello. How are you, love? So, for me, it's just like Candyman just looks. it looks like one of those films that teenagers and kids are gonna nag their parents to go see. like my when it came out, my niece is just like obsessed with it. You know, I played the movie. I don't. I haven't. I've watched the remakes, and for me, it was really good. But for me, I prefer the classic Tim Curry one because Tim Curry's like one of my favorite actors, and oh, so for me, it was just watching the trailer of Candyman. I feel like it's one of those films I don't have any interest in seeing. Like I don't like. I know that a lot of people told me like you need to watch Twilight Zone. That Jordan Peele really did a really good job with Twilight Zone. It's just like no, like no thanks. Like once I saw the episode where the fucking kid is like running for president, I was just like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. An episode about a little kid running for president. Yeah, he's got great ideas and stuff. It's just like it was the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of dumb shit in my time. I watched Fear Factor when it first came out. I watched Survivor when it first came out. Like Kawali Batsy, cute and Japanese. Reading manga or watching anime. Anime cartoons are great. One thing I wish they would do is like do an anime series of Batman. Like they used to do like I seen like this Japanese Spider-Man, and it was actually much better. The Japanese Spider-Man is like the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. It's like instead of like the Peter Parker who's like a photographer, he's like a motorcycle dirt bike racer or something. And he has like this wrist thing, and he hits it, and he turns like in a spider suit. Then he has like this giant like Power Rangers robot, and I thought like, damn, that is actually cooler than than the American version of Spider-Man. Just add in a giant Spider-Man robot to fight other giant robot creatures. You got my attention right there. Like that was the thing that disappointed me with like the reboot of Power Rangers. Like I used to watch Mighty Morphin Power Rangers growing up, and the Blue Ranger is my favorite. Like I love the color blue. And my grandmother, my dad's mom, bought me this blue Power Ranger buddy, and I still to this day have it, which is really cool. Like a lot, I posted a photo of it. I remember years ago I posted it on DC All Access, and a lot of people are like, "How much do you want for it?" I'm just like, "I ain't selling it." I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it because it's very sentimental. Like I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, you don't want to sell it because sentimental value." It's just like, yeah, the fucking thing means a lot to me. It's like the only thing my dad's mom ever bought me. Ever bought me. That was it. That was like the only thing I have that she ever bought me, and that was it. Like I didn't get a whole lot of stuff like my other cousins um, and stuff like that. Like that's the only thing I have. So I don't feel like selling it, and I'm never going to sell it because that's all I have from my grandma. So I love Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and when I heard about the reboot that they were going to do like this remake, I was kind of on the fence of it. Like I was just like, oh, this is gonna be so cool. At the same time, thinking like, oh, it's gonna suck. And it sucked. Like I seen it, I was just like, this movie is shit. Like this movie's just awful. And the thing about it is like Power Rangers should have like I remember they did like this um, short film, and it was like this really dark, realistic like sequel to the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It was like this dark and you know short film with like you know action and stuff, and it was just like it was really cool. It was like a very Chris Nolan-esque type film, short film, and it was really cool. And I think it had like some of the it had a few big names in it. I forget who was in it, but I think Luke Perry was in it. I think I don't remember. Um, but it was really cool. It was like a really cool, you know, short film and stuff. And I watched it. And I was like, ah, I wish they would do that version. Like a really dark, rated R, PG-13 type Power Rangers. Instead, we got like this Transformers-esque type Power Rangers, which just it sucked. It was just I know a lot of people love the new movie, the old well, it's new still, but a lot of people loved it. I just thought it was I mean, like the only thing was about it is like you got Bryan Cranston in it. And this is how you do it. Like it disappointed me and stuff. And like I will admit, like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie is cheesy. I will admit it's very cheesy. Purple goo, purple monsters, a woman wearing a big ass headpiece. Like, yeah, it's cheesy and stuff, but damn, at least they put effort into it. Like, so I'm still waiting for like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover. Maybe that's what they should do. Have Paramount buy the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and do something. So, anyway, so go Power Rangers. So yeah, it was that Power Rangers movie, 2017. Oh, it is. Reboot is currently in development at Paramount Pictures. Wow, my wish came true. According to an AMA Stranger Things subreddit, Darce Montgomery revealed that the studio had plans to produce a second reboot without him and the rest of the cast, and the director returning. On December 13, 2019, it was reported that Jonathan Eitwisle is in negotiations to direct a reboot, and Patrick Blum is set to write the script. Plot is reportedly involved time travel, and it'll be set in the 90s. Oh shit! So they're going to the Batman route. I mean, Batman. Of course, they said the movie's rumored to be set in the 80s, so they're going to go in the 90s. Oh shit! I hope it's not like I hope it's not like the Stranger Things where people were like obsessed with like the 80s, like thanks to something hit that roof. Thanks to like things like Stranger Things, the Goldbergs, people become obsessed and fascinated with the 80s, saying the 80s was such a golden good time, and it's like it didn't look it. Now it's going to be the 90s. The 90s was so much fun. PlayStation games was revolutionary. Not really. I mean, it was. I mean, I'll admit, Super Mario 64, but here's the difference. You didn't have loading. Like, when you know how annoying it was playing, like, Batman Forever on the Sega or the Super Nintendo, and it says, wait. Wait for what? Or Captain Blasto, like this loading of this video game, and you get to like the area you're supposed to play in, and it doesn't look complete. All you see is like this black background, this bluish purple floor thing. You have to like walk, and you're just looking around like, this is the game. This is the $10 game. There's nothing there. Graphics and everything is not the way it is now. I mean, you look at Arkham Knight, or you look at Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 looks like a fucking cinema masterpiece of a video game. Arkham Knight is like this revolutionary superhero game. Well, Arkham City is of course, my all-time favorite. Just look at the graphics. How perfect it is. You look at the graphics of the old the old PlayStation 1, Nintendo 64. They haven't aged. Like, the only thing that only stands out that's perfect is the wrestling video game, like WWE No Mercy, or WWF No Mercy, or WCW NWO Revenge. Like, wrestling video games back then were great. A little unpredictable, but that's what makes it fun. You look at wrestling video games today, like 2K20, you're like, what the hell did you people do? So everything is not perfect back then. I mean, for God's sakes, like the early 2000s, 99 to early 2000s, everybody was in this boy band craze. Britney Spears was kicking off her career. And you had like crazy, cringy music. I mean, but everything wasn't great. Everything was not. Everything was just crazy. And, the 80s, I never lived in the 80s, thank God. But I'm sure if you ask somebody in the 80s, like, something about was the 80s like as they say it is, as great as it is presented in like Stranger Things or the Goldbergs, I'm pretty sure some of them will say like no. Or some of them's going like, I miss the 80s. I mean, I'll admit the music in the 80s were interesting and stuff. But seriously, like, look at it. Like, just look at it. Technology point of view for me was not great. There was no podcasting, so. So anyway, comic book news. We're going to talk about that quick. Then we'll get back to like crazy subjects like horror movies and stuff. Marvel, of course, ruined one of my favorite characters, Wolverine. X-Men is in total shambles as the storyline crafted by Jonathan Hickman and editor Jordan White has Wolverine gay and a team allies with their enemies. Disney and Marvel's latest X-Men storyline sees Wolverine and Cyclops joking about being seen in Speedos and having everyone bang each other, aka polymerity. Regarding to friending their enemies, X-Men and the mutants have declared an island nation of Kakura, I guess that's how it's pronounced, as their new home, where they have accepted insane homicidal genocidal supervillain such as Magneto and Apocalypse and Mr. Sinister as one of them. What the fuck? The Hickman, it's like one of those. How do I put it? He's fucking crazy. Hickman is like one of those writers. He's like on the same wagon of idiots with Brian Michael Bendis and all them. And I don't know why. Marvel and Disney does this. I mean, a lot of people, like, I'm going to point this story out. A lot of people are saying, like, DC Comics is on the, breaking point. Look at Marvel. Marvel is, like, one of those things that is, like, I don't want to sound mean, but, I mean, Marvel's kind of retarded. They are one of those retarded comic book companies that you ask yourself, can they get any worse? Can they go any lower? And I love how people always say, like, Hickman and, Bendis and all of them are great, genius writers. Not really. Like, not really. I mean, he collaborated, of course, with Brian Michael Bendis for Secret Warriors, and which follows Nick Fury and a group of superpowered operatives as they undertake, espionage operations in the wake of Secret Invasion and stuff. But it's one of those things, like, I don't understand why comic book companies hire the same people. Like, it's like a revolving door and stuff. And they don't want to give new writers, new people, any opportunity or chances because, they're not buddies with certain people. They're not friends with certain people. They don't do anything. They just hire the same fucking people. I mean, once Dan Didio hired Bendis, he pretty much signed his termination papers. Because everyone was not going to be accepting of Tamachi leaving Superman when he just made Superman an actual interesting character. And you bring in this new guy, well, he's not new. You bring in Bendis, who takes Superman and throws him back into Dark Ages again. Back in 1930s, 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, 1970s. Back to the Stone Ages, where, he was just like, we need to, take Superman, back to the good old days. And it's just like, fuck the good old days. Make it modern. And you get rid of, like, I am not a Superman fan, mind you, but I know Superman. My parents were fans of Superman. My uncle, like I said, is like a diehard Superman fan. Like, he's pissed of how they treat Superman lately in film and television. But I will say this. You taken away the only thing that makes Superman interesting is him juggling two lives, duality. One as Clark Kent pretending to be human, and Superman. You've taken away the duality of this character. And now they're talking about doing it with Batman. We're having Bruce Wayne reveal his identity as Batman. Again, they're taking away what makes the character just as interesting. Seeing them deal with the struggle of keeping their personal life, their secret identity, and their life. That is what makes everything interesting about the character. The struggle of duality. That's what makes it wonderful with these characters. And Bruce Wayne dealing with the life of being Bruce Wayne and being Batman. How does that cloud his judgment of being Bruce Wayne? That's what made Telltale Batman such an interesting, fun video game. Is you're dealing with two different characters, even though they're the same individual. That's the thing that makes the characters interesting and stuff. I mean, why do you think Barry Allen is such a cool character? Even for me, I think he's a cool character. He's a forensic scientist. He's a speedster. And he's dealing with everything around him. Like, you don't realize that this guy's mind is like ticking really fast, and he's thinking things through, and he sees things quickly. That's what makes the character great and stuff. And Bendis would neuter that. Just like what he did with Superman. And it's frustrating to see Superman like this. I am not a fan of the character, but I feel bad for people who love the character and finally got to see the character evolved, and they de-evolved him again. They took him back to the Stone Ages. And I'm sure that's frustrating for people. They're like, finally we got to see Superman have another layer for him. He has a son He has a wife. He has a family, and he has to protect them, and he has to protect the world. And he has to teach his son how to be a human being, even though even though he has all these powers. Like, that was a thing that made it interesting. It was really interesting to see Damian Wayne take John Kent under his wing. Well, yeah, under his wing, and be friends with him and teach him how to be human, in a way and stuff. And that's the thing that ruined. That's what ruined DC. It's like, once you canceled Super Sons, which was actually a fun book I enjoyed reading, you got rid of something that was really fun for DC. I mean, I wanted to see John Kent join. Had to burp. I burp anytime I rant. I wanted to see John Kent join the Teen Titans. I wanted to see him, join Damian and join the Teen Titans and go on adventures and stuff. And they took that away and stuff. And that's the thing about DC. It's just like, they don't want to take risks. They didn't want to take risks when, with anything. And it's like, I hope they take the biggest risk with Batman and Catwoman. Have them get married, have them have a baby. I want to see them take that risk. I'm tired of them pussing out on everything, where they're just like, no, we're not going to do it. We don't want to affect the 80 years of, history of them. It's like, who gives a shit anymore? You already fucked up the Superman thing. It's like, let this happen. Let this, happen. Let fuck the 80 years of, history and all that. Just evolve the characters finally. I'm tired of them being an 80-year repeat. I want to see an evolution of these characters. I am tired of stuck in nostalgia. Fuck nostalgia. Nostalgia is great for once in a great while. Now it is worn out its welcome. Look at Star Wars. Star Wars, the sequel trilogy should have never happened. It should have never happened. As much as people fucking love Star Wars. Han, Luke, and Leia were better off with a happy ending instead of this shit sequel that just happened. So fuck nostalgia trips. Let it evolve. So, anyway, as I was ranting, I just decided to hop off the stupid X-Men thing. Why do they have to ruin X-Men? It's like, they never could get a damn good writer to do anything with X-Men. I love X-Men as much as I hate Marvel. I think that's why I hate Marvel. It's just, I love X-Men, and they just ruined X-Men. They ruined, like, Wolverine. They ruined Cyclops. They ruined Jean Grey. And it's just like, it aggravates me. Like, even though a lot of people are like, when Fox was bought, I remember my uncle was like, they finally bought Fox, Disney did, and they're finally going to make a good X-Men film. It's just like, they actually did make a good X-Men films. X-Men 1, X2, X-Men United. The Wolverine, I actually enjoyed that one. Because it's based on Miller's Wolverine story, where Wolverine goes to Japan and stuff. That was really cool. Logan, even though a lot of people don't say Logan's not really technically a superhero film, it's more like a journey western type story. It's like, it was really good, but even though it was like heartbreaking to watch, because I'll admit I cried at the end because I had to like get up and walk out of the theater quickly, because it was just like, I cried twice. One was when Xavier got killed. That one just broke me. Like, I was just like, fuck. And spoiler alert, when Wolverine got killed, when Wolverine died, that was just like, fuck. This movie's hitting all feels. It was a good movie, but I like X-Men 3. I was so angry when I sat through that film. I was so angry. I Once they killed like Cyclops in the beginning of the film, I was angry. Then all of a sudden he pops in and Superman Returns. I was just like, "Are you for real, dude? Like you leave one good film. They could have made a movie centered around Cyclops finally, and you fucked that up." I was so angry. So, all right, let's finish this cringe story. So, my neighbors are loud. So, Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean Grey have connecting rooms. Shit. Getting back to Wolverine and Cyclops, in X-Men #1 saw it's revealed that Wolverine, Cyclops, and Jean's rooms are all connected to each other through the doorways, leading to online speculation that they are all having sex together. Why do they have to do this? Wolverine gay tease with Cyclops. Things didn't end there at X-Men 7, issue 7. Sees Wolverine making a remark about seeing Jean in a bikini, where Scott remarks about seeing him in a Speedo, and Wolverine replies, who could say no to that? Oh, that is not Wolverine. I'm sorry. Like, Wolverine in the comics was a very tough dude who's seen stuff. Wolverine does not have a snarky attitude like that. He has a very gruff, older attitude where he doesn't care about anybody. Plus he had a relationship with Storm, which kind of makes it go like, why didn't you just focus on their relationship? I mean, of course, a lot of people are like, well, Storm and Black Panther. But Wolverine just never had that snarky attitude, and he never had that interest in Cyclops because he hated Cyclops being such a pushover yes man, because he thought Cyclops was just, this, douchebag type of thing, and it's stupid. So it aggravates me that they do this with stuff, and I would say this, like, if I wrote X-Men, I would have had a focus on. Honestly, I probably wouldn't write X-Men just after what they just did. They just kind of like destroyed, like they destroyed X-Men so bad that it would take a miracle for it to be relevant and stuff. And for me, a lot of people are saying like DC Comics is on its last leg. It's just like, look at fucking Marvel now. Yeah. New alleged Batman leaks details Firefly will play a prominent role in the Batman film. A new set of Batman leaks details that the villain Firefly will play a prominent role in the movie. An anonymous user claiming to have read the first third of Matt Reeves' screenplay. Details onto Imager on the day. According to the leaker, Batman, or the Batman, is very noir. Bruce Wayne Pattinson will narrate in the style of Maltese Falcone, and the like of a narration of inner monologue, are as true to The Dark Knight as the mid-20th century noir film, or the film noir. Anyone who's seen Batman the Animated Series can attest to that. The plot is reportedly resolves around a mystery of showcasing of Batman's detective skills. The post backs up that Batman will investigate a series of arsons he thinks will bring down Carmine Falcone, who is described to be his biggest adversary. Reeves borrows A little of Batman Begins. My computer's acting up. Borrows a little bit of Batman Begins with that one. Bruce, Christian Bale, just had Cal, and Falcone, played by Tom Wilkinson, was the biggest crime lord in Gotham. Here's the thing I like to say to Bounding the Comics website: when you stop putting so many ads and things, like, you're making it very stupid. It's like you're trying to like scroll to read it, and it's just like it bounces down and bounces back up, then it bounces back down. It's like very annoying while you're trying to read stuff. Uh, Sorry. As we know, the supervillains, there will be supervillains too. Firefly is identified as among the myriad of rogues who are behind the arsons. He fights Batman only to be beaten and captured in the alleged leak. Bruce calls Gordon, Jim, played by Jeffrey Wright, who's fucking crazy, by the way. At this point, the two's relationship is very hesitant and disturbing, which sounds more like Frank Miller's Batman Year One, but they are heavy amount of respect for each other. Gordon also sounds concerned and afraid Batman is quickly getting in over his head. Bruce's relationship with Alfred, played by Andy Serkins, who is not a bad choice, by the way, even though I still think they should have went with like who they should have went with. There's a lot of actors I think they should have went with. Like one person I always thought would be great to play Alfred would be Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman I always thought would have been perfect because Alan Rickman sort of has that stoic, voice. He has that very stoic, like, iconic voice. Even though Alan Rickman, like, if there was ever a dream cast for X-Men film, X-Men movie, Alan Rickman would be Magneto in my dream cast. Because Alan Rickman is fucking awesome as Magneto. Oh, man, that could have been a great film. But I think at the time he was doing like Harry Potter, and I was just thinking like, shit, they could have gotten Alan Rickman. Even though Ian McKellen was great, well, he wasn't great. He was perfect as Magneto because, again, he has that iconic voice, and he's he's one of the, I wouldn't say Juilliard, but he's one of those Shakespeare actors. So yeah, he was meant to play Magneto, but Alan Rickman would have been great as Magneto. But anyway, the relationship between Bruce and Alfred is uneasy as well. Leaks are likened more to an argumentative brothers or an uncle-nephew relationship. Things feel like they could bubble over into a fistfight, says the Post. Back now to Falcone. He's in court and wins a case, which seems very often he does. Just like Batman Year One. There's a mention of Harvey Dent. He might do better. It is mentioned that it is in the Batman Year One. Falcone, he wins a lawsuit and cases and stuff, and also the police chief Loeb also helps him out of stuff like, it sounds like Dent is name dropped without making appearance. Peter Sarsgaard is suspected of playing Dent, but some reports are only saying it's speculation. Dent may or may not be present, but Bruce is said to be more of an active role in the Wayne Enterprises than we used to see. We see him working with, meeting with people on various businesses levels, it says. It doesn't scream a billionaire a-hole like prior leaks of Reddit, but it's only first third of a movie regarding the street and crime fighting are always his folk keeping an eye on the street, keeping the street safer, and figuring out Firefly leads to Oswald Cobblepot, played by Colin Farrell. He doesn't go by the Penguin, but mobsters and other head of crime family but is a mobster and head of crime family. Firefly was burning down Falcone's stash houses and working for Oswald. Um, He is played by a slimmed and average height Pharaoh without a nickname, but at least according to a leak, to a leak we may be for a bigger departure from the source materials comes from to Oswald Cobblepot, even if he isn't blonde. Nevertheless, it eliminates his competition. Batman finds a bloodied body of Falcone, which is later a letter pinned to his chest, discovering a question mark painted in blood on the Batmobile, implicating that the Riddler, Paul Dano, has struck. Is Riddler working for Cobblepot? Well, we don't know. As far as the anonymous poster got, accurate or not, it's pretty compelling stuff. Uh, it's kind of interesting. I will admit, it's very interesting thing. Okay. It's very interesting stuff to hear. I think I do like it. I do like that style of story. It's very noirish. I dig it. I think it's gonna be a really cool, um, compelling story. Like if that's the story that Matt Reeves has been working on for years and taken year after year to to plan out, I like it. I like it. I dig it. It's gonna be fun. So for me, I like the story. I think it's gonna be a cool, interesting um, story by Matt Reeves and stuff. I'm disappointed that Lucius Fox isn't going to be in it. Hopefully, they will. Um, if they do, Lucius Fox, I think that I think it'd be cool to see Lucius. I think if they cast an actor, I think they should get like Forrest Whitaker. I always think that Forrest Whitaker could do any film, or get Lawrence Fishburne. Lawrence Fishburne would be great um, for for Batman. So Batman 90 preview of Batman. Catwoman has some splaining to do in Batman 90. I like the variant cover. The variant cover has Riddler on it. Very creepy looking Riddler, but my neighbors. So anyway, Batman 90, the preview of Batman. Newest member to the Bat family. Of course, screwing with Deathstroke is revealed to be Harley Quinn. That's right, Harley Quinn is Batman's new sidekick. Will she be the new Robin? I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm sorry, like Harley Quinn is fucking boring. She's the most overrated character in Batman comics. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people love Harley, but she is overrated. Meanwhile, Batman and Catwoman are chilling on a rooftop, and Catwoman is explaining to Batman what's going on. Through the power of Flash, Woman explains how she got involved with a designer. I'm sorry, the designer thing is kind of like the stupidest name. So it's basically what it is. Like she does explain the designer. Will Batman forgive Catwoman? Who knows? She will. Yeah, he will. He will explain it. He will forgive her and all that stuff. It's kind of like one of those melodramatic soap operas from the golden age of television. That's what they're doing. and stuff. Like I did not get to. I didn't. When I went to the comic book store, I didn't find like Batman. I didn't find the Batman 89 and 90 and all that. Not 90, but 89 and stuff because most people are buying it because the first appearance of Punchline, which is going to be a forgotten character. So, C2E2 new DC gossip about the 5G and the new timeline. Both of them. Sean Murphy's Batman White Knight. White Knight returns with a new creative team for the Murphyverse. I did see that tweet. In a now deleted tweet, it was announced that White Knight Batman comics will be continuing after the first two miniseries Batman White Knight and Curse of the White Knight, which was kind of boring. Sorry. I know. Sorry, but Curse of the White Knight's kind of boring. It was very. Murphy was just sort of. I feel like Murphy was trying to dabble into the Scott Snyder territory of writing stuff, but Murphy tweeted, quote, "Some big news actually. DC wants a mini imprint of White Knight. I will be writing the bones of the new minis. There will be set up for a writer-artist team. It will be done between volumes of Batman White Knight. It will be the Murphyverse. Stay tuned for books on Harley, Nightwing, and Batgirl." Why a Harley book? In a series of seen in a new a series has been seen in different Gotham where Bruce Wayne as Batman went too far, where the Joker is seemingly sane and fights back with a creative different power of dynamic. As Sean says, DC wants a mini imprint. So basically, it will be Sean on, Sean off, but duration between his tweets was overruled where he get to do the miniseries. The rules of the Murphyverse: dead characters stay dead, no inner monologues, not a fan of using them. Stuff comes out on time, only best talent, who puts customers first. I don't know. I mean, I really didn't enjoy Curse of the White Knight comic. I liked the White Knight. That was a really good comic. Very different. But I just really didn't enjoy Curse of the White Knight. I felt like it was so predictable. Like, you have Azrael, and then it's like, yeah, you know. So, from DC, let's get back to. I have to read, but to see what they have on here. Do 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 do. Hmm. I'm just gonna go to Google. Let's see. I'm gonna see what's on the crazy news of Google. Hmm. Oh, they did do a casting for Catwoman for the Harley Quinn show. It's been announced that Sienna Lathan will be doing the voice of Catwoman for season 2 of Harley Quinn animated series. Also, with that, they also announced Mr. Freeze will also be in the Harley Quinn season 2. Alfred Molina, who formerly played Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2, will be doing the voice of Mr. Freeze for Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn series, of course, premiered in the November on DC Universe. And it's been rumored that April 3rd will be the premiere of season 2 of Harley Quinn. So, I'm going to see where that goes. I can't wait to see Alfred Molina do the voice of Mr. Freeze. I think it's going to be a fun, exciting interpretation of Mr. Freeze, in my opinion. I can't wait to see what happens. I mean, Mr. Freeze was referenced in Harley Quinn season 1, where Harley and Ivy were looking for new hideouts, and they stumbled upon Mr. Freeze's hideout, and that was really cool. That was cool. It was a really awesome reference to Mr. Freeze and stuff, and I can't wait to see what he does in season 2. I can't wait to see Catwoman. I was hoping for Catwoman to... Again, Catwoman was referenced in Harley Quinn by Ivy and stuff. And for me, I can't wait to see how the characters act, how they look, how they act in the show. Oh, hell yeah, the same here. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait. I really enjoyed Harley Quinn. I think it's by far one of the best animated series on DC Universe. For me, I wish they would do a Batman animated series. I would love to see a TVMA Batman animated series. Of course, they'll never do it because it's too risk taking for Warner Brothers and DC. But it's cool in a way to see Batman on a TVMA animated series of Harley Quinn, And for me, I can't wait to see Catwoman, Mr. Freeze. One of my favorite characters of season 1 that stood out to me was Bane. Bane was like my favorite of season 1 of Harley. I can't wait to see who's going to be my favorite character for season 2. It's most likely going to be Catwoman. So, for me, I think it's going to be exciting to see what happens for the show. And so, hopefully April 3rd, which is rumored to be the premiere date for season 2, hopefully April 3rd they release Harley Quinn. I think they're going to start working on Titans now. I think Titans season 3. So hopefully Titans season 3 comes out soon, but it's most likely they're going to be out fall. So anyway. Let's see what else is in the crazy news. Also, right here, spoiler leaks. DC EU might be, so let's talk about this one. And what may be the first official term for the DC Extended Universe? The executive chief creative officer and current publisher of DC Comics, Jim Lee, has hyped up panel audience on the films of Batman, the film slate, Batman and its possible ties to the DC Cinematic Universe. At the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo, damn, wish I was there. Not really. Jim Lee hosted one of his signature draw and Q&A panels where comic book icons sketch draws while taking questions from audiences. One of the audiences, who identified themselves as Aaron from St. Paul, Minnesota, asked Lee about the now sole publisher of DC Comics following the exit of Dan Didio in late Friday. What is the stance for the Fable Snyder Cut and the 2017 Justice League? Justice League. Lee chatted about the future of DC films, saying, quote, "We've been working on a slate." He said, "We have an amazing Batman movie. Suicide Squad is just killer. Black Adam next year. There are just These are all the next just next year. Wonder Woman 84. The tremendous momentum from the first movie, that was amazing. So there will be a lot of great positive things happening as the cinematic universe moves on." Lee added the 2021 will be a big year for films. It'll be the first time ever we'll have 3 theatrical releases in 1 year. Walter Hamada in charge of DC Films. He's just a great partner. Loves DC, super creative, great relationship with filmmakers. So we're positive and hopeful for future DC Extended Universe films. So let's get to the Batman part. That's the most important part. Equally big that Lee mentioned the Batman in the same breath as the DCEU. At this point, the upcoming 2021 film will be occupied heavy hazing in the DCEU continuity after Ben Affleck's exit last year. It's unknown what it became of Matt Reeves' Batman project. It'll be the first film to retool and recast with Robert Pattinson playing a younger interpretation of Batman. Age discrimination right there, by the way. How Pattinson's version will connect with the rest of DCEU, if all real, remains seen. I will say this. I am doubtful that Pattinson's Batman is going to connect with the DCEU. I am very doubtful of it. I think it's good. I don't think it's going to be connected to the films, the rest of the films. I mean, sure as hell isn't going to connect to Harley Quinn, the Birds of Prey thing, or Birds of Prey Harley Quinn, whatever it is. Sure as hell isn't going to connect to it. I'm doubtful of it. I'm doubtful that they will connect the Batman to the DCEU unless Matt Reeves has input on it. And Reeves himself stated that there was like 3 films, and I don't think Robert Pattinson would put up being in a giant, film, cinematic universe film. I mean, they tried to get him in Marvel. They tried it before, and it didn't work. They tried it with Joaquin Phoenix, and Phoenix was just like, hell no. And Robert Pattinson, as much as people like to criticize Twilight, I'm one of those people. I look at the Twilight films from an outsider point of view. Like, there was so much they could have done creatively. Like, they could have, and this is the one thing that for the Twilight films I really liked. I like the vampire council thing, the vampire council government thing. And I thought, man, they could have done so much with that. Like, it was such a cool, interesting concept. You had Michael Sheen, who's like a good actor. He would have been great as Alfred, Michael Sheen, And look at the Vampire Council thing. It's like, man, they could have done so much with it. Like, for me, it was just like, man, I wish they would have done a lot with it because it was actually an interesting concept. And I'm not a fan of Twilight. I just looked at it like, man, this is a really interesting thing. It reminded me of the Vampire Council and the Interview with the Vampire. And if there's ever one person they have to cast for Ra's al Ghul for the Robert Pattinson Batman films, please, DC, Warner Brothers, get Antonio Banderas as Ra's al Ghul. Get Antonio Banderas as Ra's al Ghul. He would be awesome. And I love the films he did with Robert Rodriguez. And I'm not a big Zorro fan. I thought he was great as Zorro, but he would be great as Ra's al Ghul. Just let it happen. I want that movie. I want Antonio Banderas to show up as Ra's al Ghul. And the man does not fucking age, so he is perfect as Ra's al Ghul. The man still looks the same. So just get Antonio Banderas as Ra's al Ghul. I want that. Best cast ever. I know, right? Best cast ever, hun. I want that movie. I want Antonio Banderas to show up as Ra's al Ghul and just let it happen. Just, like let him have a sword fight with Robert Pattinson, which they kind of missed the opportunity to do it on Batman Begins. Batman kind of cheated. I will admit, but he was pretty fucking smart. He outsmarted Ra's al Ghul, which I think that's what kind of made it awesome. But again, they miss I'm happy that they brought Ra's al Ghul back for Dark Knight Rises, but they missed so much opportunities with the character and stuff. But man, include the Lazarus Pit, bring in Antonio Banderas as Ra's al Ghul. Hell, bring in Vanessa Hudgens as Talia. Have Catwoman kick the shit out of Talia. Be done with it. It'd be a good film. That'd be great. I'm basically saying I want Hush as the sequel to the Batman movie. Is pretty much what I'm saying. Bring in Henry Cavill back. That's a good way they could do it, though. Like the Flash fucked up the timeline. Robert Pattinson's Batman's in now. Affleck Batman sadly disappeared. Or Barry Allen returns to a new universe where you still have the same Superman, because Superman always looks the same. Earth 2 Superman, it could be Earth 2 basically. Superman has white. Superman's older. He has white, gray sides on his hair. A new Superman suit. The iconic Kingdom Come Superman suit. Robert Pattinson's Batman. Batman's younger version of Batman. Superman's older. Wonder Woman isn't basically an Amazon goddess. She basically does not age. So there you go. Jason Momoa is still Aquaman. Basically Barry Allen and Cyborg instead is like a Teen Titan now. We don't have to bring Cyborg back. We could just say he's with the Titans, or he's just basically leading. Or you could get Ray Fisher to come back and they could just do a Teen Titans movie. And Cyborg, instead of being with the Justice League, is training new, younger heroes to mentor them to, be future Justice League members. There you go. You got Cyborg right there. You got Green Lantern, of course. Martian Manhunter. I want a Martian Manhunter movie. Basically do it like Alien, type thing. Everything that you've seen, Wonder Woman and Aquaman happen, just Barry changed the universe. For example, Aquaman mentioned the Justice League. He didn't want to talk about it. Basically, it's just Justice League's around. They're just, they're doing their own thing. Basically, everything that happened, but Barry Allen just changed the timeline. Batman is now younger. Superman is older. Cyborg's off mentoring teen superheroes. He's the leader of the Titans. You got Robin, so basically there you go. You got Robin. A place for Robin to go. So basically, that's how they could do it. So Batman Hush, Superman shows up and he's just older now. He's an older Superman. He has white hair on the side. So basically, that's how they could do it. You see, I could write out the entire fucking universe while taking a shit after a good meal at Taco Bell. Basically, I could do their job that they need. Just paint out the fucking universe for them. So there. That's how they could do it. So anyway, that was a good way to end the show on that one. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of how I would want to change the universe. I mean, you know, exactly. Yeah, it's just like that's how they could do the universe. It's just basically explain, like, the moment that we saw Barry Allen on Flashpoint, he returns to a new universe. That's how they do it. That's how they could do it. Like Barry Allen just was like, yeah, I went to like this other universe and I came back and bam, everything's changed. Yeah, it's kind of like how they did with New 52s. Like I think after Flashpoint, like Barry comes back and Bruce Wayne is like, in a new suit, new bat suit, new cave style, new look at the cave and all that. That's basically, that's how they could do it now. They could just basically put it like Barry changed the universe. He went to the CW verse, he came back, and bam, there's our universe. That's it. They Doctor Who the shit out of it. So, I mean, why not? Why not just be like, we Doctor Who'd it? Doctor Who, after one doctor's done, changes bodies and new doctor shows up. That's what happened to Batman. Batman got Doctor Who'd. So, basically, all right. So, anyway, let's see. I guess that's for the show. Anyway, so final thoughts are basically Doctor Who everything up. So, anyway, let's see what's the last part of the news. Basically, let's see what's on Phantoms and Monsters, and we'll out of here. I wish they'd bring up. I'm still waiting for like that one, the Bigfoot that with the weed and all that. Like we read a story about this dude who had a pot farm thing, and Bigfoot was eating the weed, which made it interesting, and it's such a cool story, and it's just like I wish they would do updates on it, but yeah. Stitch is awake and he's barking. So anyway, there's nothing on Phantoms and Monsters, sadly. I'll look up everything. I know there's some people who like the Phantoms and Monsters story thing that we talked about all the time, and I wouldn't say talk about all the time, but reread some of them. People find it amusing that, especially the Canada one. I got a lot of messages from Canada on that one. So anyway, I'll be back for tomorrow. I'm gonna look up, see what they have on the Phantoms and Monsters, and we'll do an episode where I read some of the Phantoms and Monsters thing, and kind of makes it fun. So anyway, that's it for the show. And hopefully, Canada, you're amazing. Thank you, love. The one thing that it was funny though with the Canada thing, because I seen on Canada, like comic trips in Canada, they had a lot of like cool comic book stores and stuff, which is awesome to look at stuff. So anyway, and plus, Canada has a lot of good programs. Trailer Park Boys, Corner Gas, the Sean Ward Show, it's really fun to watch that one. Yeah, basically. So I love the one thing that was pretty funny though. I don't know why, but people were like doing like geography thing where they put like they traded names when America pissed off the world, where someone put like U.S. United States is Canada and Canada is United States. I don't know why somebody did that, but that was like the funniest thing I've ever seen. One person from Canada wrote, "That's not fair." So anyway, yeah, helicopter flying over my house. How wonderful. So it's probably Canada. Anyway, I will see you all tomorrow. I will read the uh, Phantoms and Monsters thing. So yeah, so I'll see you all tomorrow. Yeah.